gentlemen, it is me, Dr. Donna. Welcome to today's personal accountability. Today's topic, rankings. What is the first thought that enters into your mind when you hear rankings? The definition that I will be using today is this: refer to an ordered list or an arrangement of people, things, ideas, or entities based on a specific set of criteria or performance measures. The purpose of rankings is to compare and position items relative to one another, usually from highest to lowest, best to worst, or most to least, according to those standards. Here are the two examples that I'm going to use. When I went to a CTA high school, the minimum standard was 2.0 for your GPA. If you went lower than that, you had to go back to your neighborhood high school. When I was in undergrad, in order for me to keep my ROTC scholarship, I needed to maintain a 2.5 GPA. In my master's degree program, the minimum was 2 C's. If you earned 2 C's, you were kicked out of the program, or the third C would kick you out of the program. And then in my doctorate, the only grades possible were A, B, pass, and incomplete. That was it. If you didn't meet any of those minimum standards, you were out the door, out of the program. Those were the rankings. Now, set and maintain high standards is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, as well as be the best. And as the standards were raised for my education, my standard for my own education became higher and higher. And what's interesting is that my GPA was the lowest when I was in high school, and it was the highest when I was in my doctorate program. Why is that? Because of the rankings, because of what was considered the best, the highest, the pristine, and the lowest. Additionally, I have a standard for the people around me. When I was in high school, I just had friends. Anybody could be around me. Well, not anybody, but the standard was low. When I was in college, the standard got a little bit higher. By my master's degree, the standard was high. And by the time I became Dr. Donna, it was extremely high. And now, if you are personally unaccountable, you don't have access to me. That's the lowest. That's the worst. So there was leeway, there was a grace period, and now there isn't. And my rankings are the lowest that you can be to have access to me is personally accountable. I don't tolerate unaccountable people in my life at all. And that's the ranking system that I've chosen in order for me to continue to grow and become self-actualized. And you, in your default mode network time today, you really need to think about the rankings, the standard of excellence for you personally and professionally, and find out where you are. Are you at Cass Tech High School where it's just a 2.0 and anybody can have access to you and your performance is Or are you all the way at a doctorate level where it's just A and B, incomplete and pass, and everybody has to be personally accountable? Where do you sit in those rankings? Because that is going to determine how best you actually are. How can you reach unlimited neural pathways or 860 trillion neural pathways if the lowest is a 2.0? It's kind of hard to do that if all you have to do is get all C's. You can see your way through. You might only be using 1 million synaptic connections because of those rankings. So it's time for you to assess your rankings and raise the standard for those rankings, because as you improve, as you become best and best and best and best, you have to surround yourself with the best, with the highest, with the pristine level of people that needs to be around you, and the work that you produce on the daily basis has to be creme de la creme. It has to be at the highest level possible to access your best every single day. And that's the objective of being a real leader, is to be personally accountable every day to be your best. So really assess your rankings today and update, upgrade, update, upgrade, update, and upgrade your rankings as you need to when you continue to grow forward. So it's a moving target. It continues to grow as you continue to grow. Rankings, they do matter.